Welcome back to Gillette Stadium here in Foxborough, where it's a pretty beautiful day, all things considered. A couple of days prior to Christmas Day, temperature is 40 degrees, and the sun is shining. Coach, what's your game plan for the day?
Well, for the Buffalo Bills, they've got to win third down so that they can extend drives and get that running game going. Then defensively, they've got to stop the run and get Tom Brady in one-dimensional football and get after him. For New England, stay balanced, run and pass, and on defense, contain this young quarterback. Don't let him get out of the pocket and start running all over the place.
All right, Coach. New England won the coin toss. They have deferred, which means they will give the football to rookie quarterback Josh Allen first, who is all the things and said about him. I'm not sure that everybody quite understood just how well the young man runs with the football.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest surprise coming in is how athletic he has been, and he is the leading rusher for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, and you're going to have, if you're the Patriots defensively, you've got to honor that. You can't just drop back in your zone. You can't decide to blitz and give up those lanes because he will take off and run, and he's not afraid to lower that shoulder and try and pick up a few extra yards, although I don't think Sean McDermott necessarily wants him taking that contact.
Yeah, he's still a rookie in that sense.
In our production meeting, it was fun teasing Trent. How many times did you lead your team rushing?
That would be a big 0.
Victor Bolden is deep. And at the 3-yard line, this is Bolden. Cuts to the outside, tripped up and falls forward across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Tripped up by Keon Crossan. And here comes Josh Allen. First-round draft pick out of Wyoming. 6 touchdown passes, 9 picks, but 75 carries for 506 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns.
He likes to throw the ball down the field too, Coach. You and I were talking about that before the game, and if they can get this run game going, look for him to get some play action, try and take it over the top.
This is rather Keith Ford, and Keith Ford for about a yard to the 27. Offensive lineup at the bottom of your screen. And of course, this is a Buffalo offense that has struggled in the passing game. Number 31 in the league, number 9 rushing the football.
Yeah, they love running the football and then throwing it over the top.
On 2nd and 9, this is McCoy, and McCoy looking for running room, and he'll be marked at about the 30-yard line.
Little different look from the New England front, Trent. They've got like 4 down linemen and 3 line. That's a big, heavy front in there against the run. Not their normal straight 3-4.
You're looking at the defensive starters for the New England Patriots that include the McCourties. Devin, number 32, Jason, number 30. To 3rd and 6 now for Allen. Allen, incomplete. Over the middle, pass intended for Zay Jones.
Well, and that's the thing Kyle Van Noy, the linebacker for the Patriots, told us. He said, listen, we don't have a lot of sacks on the season, but we have been getting good quarterback pressure. And that time, Josh Allen, realizing he had to get rid of the ball, threw that ball sooner than he wanted, trying to work it in the middle of the field to Zay Jones, just not enough time, had to throw it low.
That's the one thing they don't want to get into is these 3 and outs and giving the Patriots a lot of time of possession either.
Julian Edelman back at his 25-yard line. It's a high, short kick. And it takes a Buffalo bounce and is going to roll dead at about the 22-yard line. So that's where Brady and the Patriots will get started. Tom Brady, 29-3 all-time against the Buffalo Bills. That could create a bit of a complex in the other locker room.
That leads you to have some confidence coming into a game when you know that's your record against an opponent. But you know what? Talking to him about it, he said, listen, every week it's different. Every game it's different. We've got to perform better. Last time in the first matchup earlier this season, they weren't very effective getting it in the end zone. They had to settle for a lot of field goals. They were disappointed by that. Want that to change today.
Play fake. Brady starts right off the bat, and the pass over the middle, in and out of the hands of Edelman. The lineups at the bottom of your screen feature Trent even You and Tom Brady were joking about it at our meeting. A monstrous left tackle.
Well, you can see just from that picture there, who's the tallest guy that's on the other side. Trent Brown is enormous, 6'8". I know they list him at 380. Tom said he's probably about 365, but an enormous man filling in over there and put together a really solid season so far.
Brady on 2nd and 10. The little pass over the middle to Edelman is complete and out to about the 30, close to the 31-yard line. That Buffalo defense includes that guy, Lorenzo Alexander, the 12-year veteran out of Cal.
Oh, one of the greatest guys I've ever coached. He was with us in Arizona when we started it out there, and he is a joy to coach, and what a great guy.
So it's a 3rd and 3. And James White is in the backfield. Fake the pitch to him, and the quick pass is knocked down incomplete. That's Tremaine Edmonds, the rookie from Virginia Tech. So 3 and out for each side.
Well, Brady's lucky that wasn't a pick six. The offense staying on the field, though. They're huddling up. Brady's having them huddle up on 4th down, so the Bills are trying to get the right personnel back on the field. Edmonds nearly comes up with the interception as they make the late switch here with the punt team coming on the field. 15 seconds left on the play clock.
Ryan Allen is the New England punter.
Little gamesmanship. There was no way they're going for it on their own 30, were they?
No, but they really took a risk in getting a penalty because the umpire has to wait for the Buffalo Bills to substitute.
This one takes a New England roll and rolls to a stop at about the Buffalo 15-yard line. 55-yard punt by Ryan Allen. And Josh Allen back at the controls for Buffalo when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. We're telling you about the running abilities of Josh Allen, the Buffalo quarterback. Take a look at the most rushing yards in the NFL since Week 12. Right down there at 351 is a quarterback, Josh Allen.
That's hard to believe, but he's getting it done. Impressive list of guys to be on there with.
Little pitch out to the side, and this is going to go nowhere. Robert Foster with the catch, and he's brought down almost immediately by Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah, a little bit wobbly on the pass. Those things are hard for young quarterbacks, especially tall guys, to catch the ball and really get it out there quick, accurately.
Because you're not getting the laces. You're just trying to get out as fast as you can. You're just trying to get your hands on it and get it out, and sometimes you don't get the best grip.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Allen under pressure, ducks one, and here he goes. And tripped up before he got to the 20. He'll be marked down at about the 19. Elandon Roberts with the tackle.
This just tells you the aggressive nature of Josh Allen. He wants to throw this ball down the field. He has McCoy swinging out of the backfield. You see him glance to his left. He had an opportunity to throw the swing. Hightower would have been out there and tried to make a tackle in space, but instead he tried using his eyes to influence the coverage and then get it up the field. Just no time to get it up the field. So he's going to learn. You better take that.
Throw it out there to safety. He's got a better chance of making a miss than you do.
That's right. That's right. He'll learn that.
3rd and 5. And he calls a timeout. Bills use a timeout here with 11:08 still to play here in the first quarter. Just a reminder for you, Wednesday on CBS, join the All-Star Celebration honoring Reba McEntire, Cher, Wayne Shorter, Philip Glass, and the creators of Hamilton. Gloria Estefan hosts the Kennedy Center Honors Wednesday at 8/7 Central, only CBS. Tom Brady, pretty matter-of-fact when we talked with him the other day about the way things are going, and he said, look, we lost 2 tough games at the end, and we could have played better.
Yeah, finish is definitely the word for the Patriots.
3rd and 5. Allen over the middle, in and out of the hands of Isaiah McKenzie.
Well, they did a great job of protecting. They had that amoeba-type defense with all the DBs in there coming from everywhere. Josh Allen stood there and hit him right in the numbers. You got to make that catch.
That's a big play call in the league because it attacks zone and it attacks man-to-man. You have the two crossers going underneath. If you get man-to-man, if you get zone, those crossers influence that underneath coverage. You get the guy in the middle. McKenzie has to come up with that kick.
Matt Darr, horrible kick. Great bounce. And it is inside the 40-yard line. 10:54 to play, first quarter. That's just a 43-yard punt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Macy's. Verizon, the best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network. And by Jaguar, the art of performance.
This was right near Gillette Stadium. Santa made an appearance to the delight of Christmas shoppers. The man do get around this time of year. Sony Michel in the backfield. The first round draft pick out of Georgia. And this is Michel. Pushes his way out to about the 49-yard line, close to midfield. And it'll be second down. Michel has had 3 100-yard rushing games this season.
Well, his production has dropped the last 3 weeks since the return of Rex Burkhead. So now you've got 3 backs instead of he and James White just rotating back there. White being more the third down back. Now you've got 3 guys they've been rotating. So from a production standpoint, it's been spread between the 3 of them.
A quick give to Cordero Patterson, and Patterson inside the 40 of the Bills before he is brought to a standing stop. Levi Wallace, the first to grab him, but enough for a first down.
Yeah, you just want to get that guy the ball any way you can, Trent. Hand it to him, short passes. He is explosive after he gets it in his hands.
Well, you and I were talking all this week about what was going to happen with Josh Gordon being gone. Who was going to step up? Who was going to be that guy? Who can be the speed guy to take things off the top? And you think of Chris Hogan, you think of Cordero Patterson, and you think of Philip Dorsett. Those are the 3 guys that are going to have to add that speed dimension to this offense.
This is Sony Michel, and he breaks free. 30, 25, inside the 20-yard line. That'll be another first down for the New England Patriots. Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White combining to make the tackle.
But that's exactly what Tom Brady needs. He needs a good running game today and stay balanced and keep this defense honest.
Well, that's on Levi Wallace, the rookie corner. He's in position to make the tackle for about a 5-yard gain. You can see the blocking that was done on Jordan Poyer, who leads the team in tackles. He was coming up to make, or second on the team in tackles. He came up and got blocked, but Wallace is in position. He has to come up with that tackle.
Edelman goes in motion, going to keep it on the ground. And look at the hole. Michel has a chance. Oh, an unbelievable hole to run through.
Watch the blocking that's coming up front. So the runs is coming here. It's a kick out here. They're blocking down here. Great job by the offensive line. Watch the kick out here. Bam, right there. Gets off the backside. Doesn't get touched for a good 8 yards up the field.
The Patriots have been running the wham play probably better than anybody since Dan Henning coached the Atlanta Falcons.
Here's the red zone area you were talking about, Coach. No touchdowns for the Patriots. Their last 6 trips to the red zone.
49. Here we go. 18.
On first and goal, this is the rookie, Michel, inside the 5, close to the 3.
You know, Buffalo's defense is ranked about 27th in the red zone, but for whatever reason, the last time these two played, they held their own. And this would be a big stop if they can hold them to 3 right here.
49.
Second and goal from the 3.5.
18.
Once again, the rookie, Sony Michel, to the goal line. Touchdown.
Well, I can tell you right now, Sean McDermott's not going to be happy with that. They just got out physical at the point of attack during that entire drive. Give credit to the offensive line. Give credit to Rob Gronkowski was on that side, put together a heck of a block to collapse thing, and it's just a matter of pushing a pile at that point.
Yeah, just inside power play and just all about physical. Great job on the combo block.
They're going to take a look, as they do on all scoring plays. The question is if he came up short of the goal line. They'll check that out. We'll take a break. 7:32 to play in the first. Well, the officials, having looked at the replays, have decided that the original call is the one that will stand, the touchdown call. And there was plenty of question as to whether or not Sony Michel reached the end zone or not. But he will get credit for his 6th rushing touchdown of this season. Gostkowski with the extra point, and it's good. So 7:32 to play here in the first quarter, and New England leads it by a score of 7-0. We are back in 30 seconds after this from Pepsi. So New England draws first blood with a 7-0 lead. On that drive, all 6 plays on the ground, 55 yards worth of running plays in under 3.5 minutes.
Well, think about that. The first drive of the game was a 3-and-out. The ball was a little bit behind Edelman. He gets a drop on the first play, catches the second down, gets it to 3rd and short, and then Edmonds nearly intercepts it and knocks it down at the line of scrimmage. So they come out in the second series and they say, you know what, we're going to try and get physical with them. We're going to try and push the pile up front. They did use Cordell Patterson on the one-to-round play. But for the most part, it was Sony Michel just pounding the middle of in between the tackles, both sides, and pushing it down the field.
Yeah, and talking to Leslie Frazier, defensive coordinator for Buffalo, that was the one thing they were concerned with. They thought they had to stop this running game of the New England Patriots in order to get Tom Brady one-dimensional. Not so good on that drive.
Well, that was the crazy thing. Talking to him, all of them said that, right? Leslie Frazier said it. The players said it. We got to stop the run. And the Patriots this season, when they rush for under 100 yards, are only 2-5 on the season. So it confirms why they want to stop that first.
This is Victor Bolden, a yard deep in the end zone. And across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Tackle is made by Keon Crossan. And let's go back to the touchdown where we had some serious reservations about whether Sony Michel actually got the football across the goal line.
Yeah, and I thought it was pretty unanimous. We all thought this. We're going to bring in Gene Steratore to talk about it as well. You see the right forearm go down. Looks like the ball's in the left arm. Gene, what do you think?
I agree with you, Trent. And I think even if we look at that first angle again, even before we see the right forearm down, the right knee actually goes down prior to the forearm. As I continue to look at the replays, I believe that is definitely short and should have been 3rd and goal.
Well, we're all on the same page, Gene.
All right, Gene, thank you. Meanwhile, first offensive play. LaShawn McCoy gets nowhere. Ufamba Kamalu, number 97, with the stop.
Kamalu just signed to the roster, coming in, making a big play.
Making plays, yeah. They've gone to this 4-man front, which is that's their big, heavy stop-the-run package over the years, and I don't think Buffalo's ready for it.
It's clear even early on, Buffalo needs some offensive spark to get the ball rolling for them. Play clock running down. They got the snap off in time. Pulls it down and now going to go deep. Down the far sideline, has a man open and incomplete. Foster couldn't hold it, and he's blaming the sun, and I think he's got a point.
Oh, what a shame. You know, they went empty. They go empty, and the Patriots are notoriously go to cover 0. He runs right by Stephon Gilmore, and you can see him lose it in the sun. Great throw by Josh Allen. Great audible. Oh, what a shame.
I mean, that's right on target. You know, sitting here watching during pregame warm-ups and watching the punt returners down on this left side of the field, down on the side of the field where he was looking back into it. They were all having problems catching punts, catching the kickoffs, looking back into the sun. And that time, I think it cost the Bills a touchdown. I think if he catches that in stride, the speed that he has, that's going in.
Allen with lots of time, running out of time, and here he goes. Brought down at about the 23-yard line by Patrick Chung, the safety. and that'll bring out the punting unit.
Hey, let me ask you, Bruce, as a play caller, would you take that into consideration? No,
Yeah.
if you knew, like, during pregame warm-ups, or if you saw something with the angles, would you ask the guys on the sideline, try and get a feel, like, you know what?
when you came out pre-warm-up, because they were on the other end.
Right.
So go down there and get in the sun, see what the problem is, and definitely you have to consider that.
Or at least try it on this side of the field, which is in the shade. Big pressure in his best kick of the day. Matt Dard, Edelman lets it bounce, and it'll be downed at about the 21-yard line. Tom Brady back to work on offense when we come back to Gillette Stadium in just a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chevy. Chevy has earned J.D. Power awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs. And by the unexpected energy of ExxonMobil.
A look at the Hall at Patriot Place, a modern museum that takes guests through New England's football history, opened in 2008. While you were away, Julian Edelman had called for a fair catch, then threw a block as he let the ball bounce, and the Patriots were penalized half the distance to the goal. So they begin at their own 12-yard line, and this is Sony Michel again. Tries the right side and across the 15 to up the 16-yard line. Edelman, there's the fair catch call. Then he lets it bounce and throws a block.
Unusual for a 10-year vet to make that mistake.
I think it's the beard.
It could be.
Julian Edelman with some serious growth going on his face.
49.
Here's a pitch for Cordero Patterson running out of the backfield, turning the corner, and bumped out of bounds. Micah Hyde bumped him out, but not before he got first down yardage.
Well, great job to use Rob Gronkowski on a motion to go outflank the defense, crack back on the defensive end, and then just speed on the corner with Cordero Patterson. Again, Trent, just get him the ball any way you can. He's a playmaker.
That's 8 straight running plays for the New England offense. Make it 9. This is Burkhead. Burkhead across the 35 to the 36. And Chris Hogan doing a little pushing and shoving with the defender on the near side. That's quickly broken up. We check in with Melanie.
Well, Greg, Coach Belichick couldn't say enough about Cordero Patterson's versatility. In fact, Tom Brady's given him the nickname The Experiment because he can do it all, and they're always trying new things with him. He said no matter what they ask him to do, whether it's as a receiver, a returner, or a running back, he makes an impact and has a great attitude regardless of the role he's in and what he's being asked to do.
Melanie, thank you. Yeah, they're excited about having 84. This is a 2nd and 2. This is Burkhead, and Burkhead gets first down yardage as he bulls his way to the 39.
Coach, I'm guessing they just keep rolling with this as a play caller. If you know you're consuming up yardage, consuming up the clock to keep the other offense off the field, and you're just dominating the line of scrimmage.
There's no doubt.
Yep.
There's no doubt. Just keep pounding it. You're setting the tempo of we're going to be out physical you all day today.
6 first downs for the New England Patriots. Buffalo yet to register one. Play fake this time. Brady throwing up the sideline. Gronkowski, and it's out of his reach and out of bounds. Covered by Corey Thompson, number 52, the linebacker.
You knew it was coming at some point in time.
Yeah.
They tried getting Cordero. He was on a go route on the outside, and safety help over the top, and then Gronkowski on the wheel route was covered as well. So nowhere for Brady to throw the ball.
Yeah, really good job by Corey Thompson recognizing Gronkowski swinging out because Patterson had cleared everything out.
2nd and 10.
Hey, we're Ram. Ram, Kim. We're Ram.
That pass complete to the near side of the field. And Edelman picks himself off the ground. That's the 2nd completion for Brady today in 5 throws.
Well, we talked the last game, Edelman had 9 catches for 104 yards, and when talking to Brady about what the Bills do defensively, he said, listen, they don't like giving up the big play. They like playing deep, keeping everything in front of them, and then they rally and make the tackles. So anticipate Edelman or Gronkowski, some of the guys working the underneath routes to be involved more in the passing game, because the Bills this all season long really haven't given up any big plays or many big plays.
This is James White, and White works his way to midfield. And that will be another first down for New England. They keep racking them up. Tremaine Edmonds with the stop.
It's a great job by Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator. That's 4 guys carrying the ball and out of the backfield. And each guy has a role. They all embrace that role. He does a great job using them all.
Well, New England with 100 yards of total offense already to Buffalo's 11. Brady. Incomplete. Intended for James White. It has been quite the run for New England, and you don't have to tell that to the people who share the AFC East, the Dolphins and the Bills and the New York Jets. 9 consecutive division championships. And there is Robert Kraft, his son Jonathan, the people in charge.
Well, it's been an incredible run since he took over as owner. Now in his 25th year as owner, considering the championships they've won. And
false start. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Penalty is on Marcus Cannon.
That's the last thing I think Bill Belichick wanted to see after last week. With all those pre-snap penalties, to have one at home, that's inexcusable.
New England chalked up a bunch of penalties last week at Pittsburgh in the loss to the Steelers. 14 accepted penalties against New England. 2nd and 15. On the play fake. Quick pass. Burkhead lost football. On the ground, picked up by the Bills. Micah Hyde with the recovery.
Well, that's what this defense does. They create turnovers. Bend, don't break, and create turnovers.
Well, and that's the momentum change that the Bills need. Right now, they were getting nothing going, and you can see just the gang tackle. Thompson there getting the second hit, knocking the ball loose. Micah Hyde with the scoop. He was hoping for the scoop and score.
Situation would look like Rex Burkhead was trying to get too much out of something. Get your 5 yards and wrap up the ball.
Well, now you got to see if the Bills can do something with it. They haven't been able to do anything offensively up until this point.
Boy, Micah Hyde just couldn't quite get his feet under him after he picked up the ball.
Quick change of possession. It's always you always want to take a shot if you get a chance.
Well, they're in empty. They're going to be throwing it.
Yep.
Allen, sideline, and way overthrowing his intended receiver, Isaiah McKenzie.
Trent, I don't know about you, but for me, when I was a quarterback, when I was in the shadow and I looked out into the sun, the depth perception, he missed him by 10 yards right there. Sometimes it just messes you up.
Yeah, it looked to me like he didn't finish the throw, but the depth perception part of it with the sun and the angles can definitely cause a problem. It looked to me like he was trying to catch a shoot route from the slot, so he was late getting out to the flat, and as we both said, just sailed it.
Allen going to throw to this side of the field and complete it to Robert Foster.
When talking to Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator, the young man loves to be in an empty formation. It's so much easier for him to see where his hots and sights are coming from and spread it out. Then he can also run.
Well, and it declares it for you. It makes it clean as far as your declaration. If you have a back there, an extra tight end in there, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, they slide to him. Who's coming over? Is this guy reading this side to that side? And, you know, as a young quarterback, if you need that clarification and that's easier for you, then I can see why that's what they're going to throw out of most of the time.
Buffalo with their first down of the day. And now McCoy inside the 25 to the 24 as we come up on 1 minute to play here in the first quarter.
You know, Brian Daboll, having been a Patriot coach for those years, he kind of knows what's going to happen when you go empty. And the check, what used to be called rain, they ready for it on that first one when he lost it in the sun.
That was number 51, Julian Stanford, being wheeled off. We'll keep an eye on him. or keep an ear out for what happened to him. Meanwhile, LaShawn McCoy on the receiving end. 35 seconds to play in the first quarter. And a third down now for Allen and the Bills. Third and 6. Allen throwing, and that one goes nowhere. Jason Kroom, the tight end. Maybe the best you can say is not on the same page, guys?
Yeah, totally. It looked like Josh was expecting him to break out, and Kroom just kept on going up the seam.
You know, I really thought he was going to go to the other side of the field. They had man-to-man. You could tell by the coverage and the alignment that the Patriots, they were in man-to-man. So on the top of the field, or to Josh Allen's right, he had Zay Jones and Robert Foster. One was on a go route, one was on a quick out, but maybe he was worried about the sun.
Stephen Hauschka from 43 yards out. This one looks good, but short. Hit the crossbar and bounced back. Their drive falls short. It's still a 7-0 Patriot lead. Just 8 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. This will be probably the last play of the quarter. On the ground. Michelle, not much there. Kyle Williams makes the stop, and the first quarter will expire. A single touchdown on the board. Tom Brady with 4 yards passing. 7-0 New England. A look at first quarter numbers, and boy, one first down by the Buffalo Bills. It's really hard to get any momentum going when you only got one first down to your credit.
Well, that was a huge stop by the Patriots defense, and the field goal being missed after the turnover.
Turning around, going the other way from the 31-yard line. On the play fake, Brady under pressure, ducks one tackler, can't duck the rest of them, and he goes down. Back at the 21-yard line, Jordan Poyer among the many Bills in on Brady.
Well, that was a great matchup called by Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier. They blitzed on first down, expecting play-action pass, and just blew up the pocket. Great job.
Well, it was Jerry Hughes coming off the backside against Trent Brown. He gets the initial pressure, and then Brady not able to escape. As you mentioned, they brought a safety off that front edge, rushed 5 and got the sack.
On 3rd and 21, the handoff up the middle is for James White. But he'll come up far short of a first down, and Patriots will be forced to kick it away.
You know, it's amazing to see them run a draw there, Trent. In years past, you think, where's Gronk in the seam, and hit the big guy up the seam, see if you can make it.
Well, you have to be impressed with what the Bills have done defensively. First time was 3 and out. The second time, though, they just completely got dominated as the Patriots ran down the field, and then turnover and 3 and out. So
Isaiah McKenzie hit hard just as he crossed the 25-yard line and brought down at the 26. Jonathan Jones and Nate Ebner combining for the hit. On Tuesday, the Patriots Foundation and Devin McCourty hosted their annual Gifts from the Gridiron holiday shopping event. 50 children from homeless shelter programs were given a $400 gift card paired up with current and former Patriots players to do a little holiday shopping. And Devin McCourty, the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee from New England. That was Matthew Slater limping along the sideline. Keith Ford in the backfield. This is Ford to about the 30. And a real case of the walking wounded for the Buffalo Bills running backs lately. They just get LaShawn McCoy back today. Chris Ivory is hurt. Marcus Murray is hurt.
Well, and that's what I was interested to see, how much they're going to utilize McCoy today, because he has been nursing that hamstring. How effective is he going to be, number one? And then number two, how many plays will he be able to handle? So right now they're trying to balance things with the rookie Keith Ford.
2nd and 5, it's Ford again, and Ford to about the 33.
Well, the New England Patriots are stacking the box. I mean, it's just man-to-man on the corners, 8-man front, one-on-one all the way across the board, covering everybody up and say, whip me. If you can whip me, you're going to win the game.
It's basically they're saying, we're challenging you. We're going to stack everybody in here, stop your run, force you to go down the field. And they have confidence in their one-on-one matchups. It'll just be determined throughout the course of today whether or not the Bills can take advantage of it.
They need 2 for a first down.
Look at that, 9 guys.
Middle of the field, wide open. Pass to this side of the field, incomplete. McKenzie, the intended receiver.
And he's become their go-to guy in the slot, running all those option routes, but McCourty just covered him like a blanket.
Look at this. Nobody in the entire middle of the field. It's all everybody at the line of scrimmage bringing it straight man-to-man coverage. They go 0. As a quarterback, you're picking whichever matchup you think is the best. That's the one that he thought was the best. He didn't get any separation. It would have had to have been a perfect throw and catch to get that done.
That's the 4th 3-and-out so far today for Buffalo. Edelman. Penalty marker is down, and Edelman is brought down by Lorenzo Alexander at the 33, and let's check the flag. And a little bit more conversation. And a little bit more conversation.
You saw Lorenzo Alexander pleading his case.
Yeah, I mean, a 12-year vet flying down the field on special teams, making a tackle. He's an amazing guy. You love him on your football team.
Okay, here's Sean Smith.
During the kick, illegal block in the back, number 31 of the kicking team. 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. New England keeps the ball, first down.
I believe that was a quick from Bruce Arians. We'll figure it out. So we start once again. This time, New England at their own 44-yard line, and Brady to throw. Burkhead, and Burkhead out of bounds right about midfield.
You see what decision he made there, Coach? He said, I'm going to catch it. I'm going to get as many yards as I can and get outside. I'm not going to cut it in and try and get extra yardage. That's what a turnover will do for you. That changes the mindset.
One fumble will change your mindset quick.
That is right.
By the way, Tom Brady has now gone past 4,000 passing yards for this season. 10th time in his career he's done that. 2nd and 4. This is Patterson. 40, out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Did another interesting design by Josh McDaniels of a crack sweep on jet sweep motion. Gronkowski in motion, comes over, seals the edge, and instead of pitching it to him, they hand it to him.
They're going to have to come up for an answer. That's the 3rd time they've run that play. They got 39 yards rushing on those 3 attempts. They're going to have to solve that really quick.
Patterson 3 carries for 39. Brady. And this is Burkhead. Inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. Alexander and Micah Hyde converging.
Tom Brady read the blitz easily and got it out to Rex Burkhead. Easy pitch and catch.
You can almost call those the same exact plays. It's really, both of them are just sweeps, right? You're
Yes,
just throwing a quick swing to the outside to get a guy in space, or you hand it to the guy going in motion and he gets around the edge. It's getting a guy in space. So finding ways to attack this defense by getting separation.
Rob Gronkowski, no catches on the day thus far. Burkhead for a couple.
It's interesting they're using Dwayne Allen so much as the wham blocker and a blocker instead of Rob Gronkowski, who's an excellent blocker right now.
That is Isaiah McKenzie, the 2nd-year wide receiver from Georgia, being wheeled off.
Well, you have to remember on the punt return, he got bent up pretty good. And surprised he got up and walked off the field, but clearly that's still bothering him.
So here's a 3rd and 2 now. And Brady will give it to James White. White will get the first down and more. 15, 10, 5, diving for the pylon. Touchdown.
Complete dominance by the Patriots offensive line at this point in time. Considering coming into this game, the Bills were number 2 in total defense, number 10 in rush defense, only giving up 105 yards a game on the ground. And the Patriots right now are sitting at 134 yards rushing as we're just kind of getting started here in the second quarter. So
yeah, it's an establishment of will.
Yes.
Both sides of
That's
the ball.
a nice way of putting it, Bruce.
both sides of the ball.
Steven Gostkowski for the extra point, and it is good. Just under 10 minutes to play in the first half. It has been all New England, 14-0. Patriots, they're in search of a divisional title today.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Jared. Dare to be devoted. Subway, now delivering to your front door. And by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you.
A little winter skating at Patriot Place, the perfect antidote, it says here, Trent, to cabin fever.
I know how much you enjoy the cold, the outside, the ice. I'd be on there, but I know you wouldn't be joining me.
It's something I've never done.
Really?
Not ever.
Growing up in Chicago.
Ever.
Ever? Now, if we're somewhere cold next week, I know what we're doing.
I know what you're doing. Bolden on the run. Coming across the field and across the 30 and out across the 35. Nice return by Victor Bolden. Well, guys are talking about that running game. It has been effective, to say the least.
Yeah, and there's a number of guys, about 5 guys have carries, and I mean, each and every one of them making positive yards and touchdowns. I mean, great run by James White finishing this one off.
I would definitely say running back by committee. I talked about 3 guys. I didn't realize Cordero Patterson was going to be that involved in the running game. We got four-headed monster at running back.
Allen running out of time. Now lofts it up, and it's intercepted. Picked off. J.C. Jackson back across midfield. And Josh Allen just hung that one up.
Yeah, he was staring it down all the way, and the underneath guy saw it, baited him, and he just lobbed it up there. That's a college throw, and it doesn't work in the NFL.
J.C. Jackson's going to be lined up on the outside, and he's trying to get to a corner route, and all he does is he just kind of drifts back into it. You know, he's trying to initially, he's looking over here on the go route to his right side, and you float it like that. The corners in this league are too good. They're watching the eyes. They see the trajectory. He can fall back off. He sees the eyes of the quarterback. Jackson's watching his eyes. He realizes, and when you lay it that high, players are just too good right now. So the hard part is the defense now has to make a quick change and try and stop this from really getting steamrolled by the Patriots early on.
Brady to the sideline, and that's complete to James White. Jackson's interception, his 3rd of the season.
Yeah, James White versus Lorenzo Alexander out in space. That's not a good matchup for the Buffalo Bills. And he's like another wide receiver when he splits out.
By the way, that giveaway by Buffalo, their 29th of the year. That's the 2nd most in the NFL. 2nd and short yardage.
19.
This is the rookie, Michel. Inside the 30 to about the 27.5, and we check in with Melanie.
Well, Greg, just a couple injuries to update you on the Bills side. Middle linebacker Julian Stanford is questionable with an ankle injury, and offensively wide receiver Isaiah McKenzie is being evaluated for a head injury. His return is also questionable, Greg.
All right, Melanie, thank you. Another first down for the Patriots now at the Buffalo 28-yard line. This is Michel. To the 25. Got to be a huge boost for a team knowing that they can get it done any way they want.
Oh,
You know the Patriots and Tom Brady can throw it, and now look at the running game they've put on display here.
There's no doubt about it. When you can run the football like this, you are something special offensively because you know they have the weapons to throw the football. If they can just get one of those guys as a deep threat to show up in this offense, they could be really good.
149 yards rushing already for them on the day. That one intercepted over the middle, picked off by Lorenzo Alexander.
I really thought Brady thought Burkhead was going to run a crossing route. Alexander gets away with a hook right around the waist of Burkhead, and as he throws him by, he's able to get the interception.
10th interception thrown this season by Tom Brady. That's his most in a season since 2013. Well, the Buffalo Bills got themselves a turnover, and they have the ball now at their own 29-yard line. And certainly the best thing on the short term is that they were able to blunt another drive. This is LaShawn McCoy, and McCoy run out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Now, before we slam Josh Allen too much, it's been a little bit of history that Bill Belichick and the Patriots kind of eat rookie quarterbacks for lunch around here, and you're well aware of that, Coach.
Yeah, I was part of one of those with Andrew Luck. And what Bill does such a great job is hit third down package. You don't get what you saw on tape. You get a whole new thing for a rookie. And I don't think they've been in the same defense on third down at all today, and all kind of different looks.
Deshaun Watson on that list, Jared Goff, some guys who are doing pretty well around the league now. Allen for McCoy. And McCoy.
It's funny, training. He was hesitant to throw the swing again. Man, throw it to. He's one of the best players you have. Get him out there in space.
Good thing those gloves are sticky. I'm not so sure if that's the way you want him securing the football, but they need this third down conversion, though. The Bills do.
3rd and 1. You see McCoy there in the backfield.
Looks like Patriots are going man-to-man here, so pick your matchup that you like.
He's going to keep it and run for it and get the first down as he crosses the 40 to the 41. We've been talking all week long about Josh Allen's ability to run the football, and coming into this game, I mean, they'll take his 506 yards rushing coming in, but it's not the ideal way you want to run your offense with your quarterback as your leading ground gamer.
Exactly right, and that time he was effective in getting the first down. What he has to realize, and I know things haven't been going his way, he's 4 of 11, 18 yards. They're trailing by 14 points. He just threw an interception this series before. Don't try doing too much. Don't force anything.
This one to the sideline, and that one on a line to Robert Foster.
That's one thing. If you give him time to throw balls 20 yards down the field, he's got a laser for an army, and he's accurate. He struggles from 5 to 10.
So Gilmore there, not trying to give up the big play, keeping a 5-yard cushion the entire time, and Foster just with the double move, getting to the outside, and he just has a laser of an arm to put that on a dime. That isn't the problem with him, is throwing it hard. He's got to work on the touch passes and the consistency and the accuracy on some of those underneath throws.
Allen gonna throw it, and his receiver slipped and fell. Robert Foster. How great a story is Robert Foster, who is catching so many more passes than he ever did at Alabama.
Yeah, it is amazing. You know, after the bye week, they went to speed. They changed their entire receiving room, and he and McKenzie and Zay Jones, they've just taken off.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago with the release of Kelvin Benjamin and Andre Holmes, all of a sudden, hey, let's get these young guys in there, get some speed guys in there, and see what can happen. And Foster's taking full advantage of it.
And on 2nd and 10. Allen pulls it down, throws, and that's complete on the quick slant to Deontay Thompson.
It's a good thing that hit him in the stomach. As hard as he threw that ball,
it's going to leave a bruise, that's for sure.
It's going to leave that mark. But excellent job that time with the run-pass option.
You see, that's the 3rd first down on this drive as the Bills have gotten on a roll since the turnover. 32-yard line now and a first down. McCoy. To the 30, Trey Flowers there to bring him to a stop. And we're under 4.5 to play here in the first half. And we remind you, coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cower, all the latest NFL scores and highlights all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Is Nate going to be in the studio, or is it just a statue of him? Did he get any sleep last night?
Right.
Nate Burleson out at the Tennessee game. Quick pass to McCoy. McCoy out of bounds. And Buffalo's offense starting to mix things up a little bit.
Well, and that's why we say get the ball on him quick. You and I are like, if Shady's on a swing, get it to him quick. Get it out in space. Flowers was in position to make the tackle. It was that little stutter step that picked up the 5 yards. So understanding getting your athletes in space, getting the ball on them quickly and letting them do their thing.
So now 3rd and 5. Does Allen throw it, or does Buffalo run it?
Oh, I think they're going to throw it. I'd almost think this is 4-down territory, considering Hauschka missed the first field goal. I think if this gets anywhere a short 4th down distance.
Oh, Allen, and nowhere to go.
Well, that call would tell you they are going for it on 4th down, Trent, for sure. To run it on the read option. Stay right here and go for it.
He collapses. He realizes he's got Logan Thomas coming over to block, so he's got a lead blocker. The problem is Thomas kicked out. He would have liked to have seen him seal that, so he could have gotten around to the outside. Yeah. But now going for it on 4th down, I would think that the Patriots are going to go man-to-man. That's what they've done in a lot of their key 3rd down situations. They're going empty again. Nobody deep in the secondary. Everybody near or within 5 yards of the ball.
Looked like a bunch of blitz-hungry Patriots on defense. And a timeout is called.
There was no doubt it was coverage 0. There was nobody behind the 5-yard line, 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. And when you go empty, that's what you're going to get a lot of times. And they had a good package early. It's easy down. It's less than 5 yards. Right. Throw it and quit. The unblocked guy can't get you.
Right.
Just get it out of your hand.
Well, that's Bill Belichick saying, young man, let's see what you got. Because I'm going to bring it, and we're going to test you mentally to see how you handle this.
The last time, McKenzie could not get open in that situation. He picked him, didn't get open.
Well, it looks like the Patriots are coming on the blitz. Quick slant, Coach?
Oh, yeah, quick out, quick slant, something. It's got to come out fast, because if he takes a 3-step drop, the outside guy is probably 5 steps away from hitting him hard.
See, for me, I'm going to keep my eye on LeSean McCoy. He's in the left slot. He's so shifty in these short routes, a quick little option route. Now, as you said, you can't hang on to it long.
Play clock down to 2, down to 1. Barely got it off. Throwing down the sideline. It is incomplete at the goal line. Intended for Robert Foster. And Stephon Gilmore, the ex-Buffalo Bill, was there.
I think that's just a learning curve for Josh Allen. I know Foster's done some good things for you, but right now you're matched up one-on-one, a rookie against a Pro Bowler, and that's the matchup you go to. For me, I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to a match. It's a matchup-driven league, and I just don't think that was the best matchup to go to. Now you're giving it a shot. You got one-on-one. You're throwing it up. But
two young rookies who the quarterback trusts the other one, but it was a really bad matchup, like you said. There were better matchups throughout the whole field.
So the Patriots hand it off to Cordero Patterson, and Patterson out to midfield. Micah Hyde dragged him down, but that's a 27-yard pickup.
It's crazy to say this, but Gronk is being best utilized as a blocker today. He was the one who was in the slot that time. He goes out and gets a nice kick-out block and allows Cordero Patterson to get it to the outside and up the sideline. I don't even think he's been targeted today, has he?
I was going to say, why do you do that when you've got a Rob Gronkowski?
He hasn't been involved in the passing game at all.
2 minutes to play here in Foxborough. 14-0 New England.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walmart. Light up Christmas at Walmart. And by Fisher Investments.
Welcome back to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. There is Rob Gronkowski, who has not been a factor so far today. New England at the Buffalo 48. Sony Michel, the rookie running back, to the 45. Look at Gronk and what he's done, really not very much today.
He hasn't been involved, and at that time there he wasn't even running, so that leads me to believe that he was a decoy on that one, just kind of a clear out. This time running a shoot route, double teamed up the field. That time Brady had nowhere to go, threw it over the top of his head. He's been mainly utilized as a blocker today in the run game, considering the Patriots have nearly 180 yards rushing already.
On the blitz, Brady got rid of it. The pass is to Patterson, and Patterson doesn't get much. He'll be marked down at the 42-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 4. And clock continues to move. A minute 10 to play in the first half.
Yeah, with 3 timeouts, I mean, right now, after you get a first down, you don't want to stop it here. So you get the first down, and then you start working about the clock.
Patriots have run it 20 times. Brady has thrown 13 passes. That one into the dirt at the feet of Patterson. 46 seconds to play.
Well, and that's just about any quarterback in the NFL. If you don't set your feet, you're drifting back, especially a right-handed quarterback drifting back towards your left, and you try throwing one on the line. That's hard to do, no matter how young, old, strong, whatever you may be. Your feet dictate a lot of your throws, and that time his feet just weren't set.
Yeah, the interior pressure just kept pushing him back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
People want to know why they didn't use their timeouts. This is why, because they didn't make the first down. They would have gave Buffalo too much time.
Ryan Allen kicking it away. Micah Hyde is back at his 10-yard line. And it will be downed on the far side of the field by Matthew Slater. We're back in half a minute after this from Progressive Insurance. As we come back, the Bills keep it on the ground. That's Keith Ford. And we'll remind you, coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report with all the guys in New York with scores and highlights, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Well, it'll be an interesting locker room.
Well, I think the first thing you have to do, Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott have to get together and figure out how they're going to stop this run attack of the Patriots and get things turned around. And offensively, they just got to keep some drives alive.
Yeah, like we said earlier, they got to win some third downs. And they've gotten in a lot of manageable third downs, just not converting.
So we come to the end of the first half. And Brady and company lead it by a score 14-0. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station. We welcome you back to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, where the New England Patriots are holding the lead 14-0. The story of this game is very easy to figure out. The most first half rushing yards for these New England Patriots since 1991. Since 1991, 179 rushing yards. How have they done it?
Well, what happened, Greg, is the way that they came off the bus and into this stadium is they were like, we're going to dominate the line of scrimmage, and we're going to do it a bunch of different ways. We're going to do it running back by committee. We're going to find different guys to get involved, whether it's James White, Rex Burkhead, whether it's Cordero Patterson on sweeps around the edge. They're going to find ways to get it done, and they've just been more physical than the Bills have been at the line of scrimmage.
And if you're the Buffalo Bills, you're the coach, what do you tell them? How do you stop it?
We got to win the line of scrimmage on both sides. Offensively, we got to run the ball better and convert third downs. Defensively, we got to shut this running game down and win up front and keep getting turnovers. Get us back in the game with turnovers.
Do you have to find a way to get Josh Allen some completions to get his confidence going?
Well, I think the completions have been there. He just likes to look down the field so much. And there's not a problem with that, except you're not keeping drives alive. When you're continually looking down the field, you're disregarding the underneath throws that keep you in the short and manageable down and distances. They've only converted 1 third down on the day, so they've got to start getting some drives, getting some conversions, keeping the ball. I'm all for going for big plays. Listen, I love looking down the field and getting big plays, but they've got to find ways to possess the football and put drives again.
Yeah, when Shady McCoy's out in the flat one-on-one, throw it to him.
Cordero Patterson a couple of yards deep in the end zone, going to bring it out. and get cut down at about the 15-yard line. Jordan Poyer with the tackle. We check in with Melanie.
Well, Greg, I spoke with Sean McDermott first. He told me, hey, obviously we're having some trouble with our gap integrity in terms of stopping New England's rushing attack. Offensively, he wants to see his guys extend some more drives and obviously put some points on the board, but he was happy with the 2 takeaways. I then spoke with Coach Belichick. He said the key for them in the run game has been the speed sweeps, but they've had too many turnovers. He said we just have to do a better job executing, Greg.
All right, Melanie, thank you. 92-1, the Patriots here at Gillette Stadium when they lead at halftime. Quick pass for Brady, off his hands, off Gronkowski's hands, and picked by the Buffalo Bills by Poyer.
Well, that's exactly what the Buffalo Bills needed. They needed a turnover. Now let's get some points out of it.
We were just talking about Gronkowski, his lack of activity. He gets an opportunity here, and it's off his fingertips.
Yeah, and Melanie just got done talking about the fact that she talked to both coaches and the fact that Belichick said, we can't turn the ball over. And sure enough, they go to Gronk for the first time today. The ball goes through his hands, and they're able to get the interception, giving great field position to Josh Allen in this offense.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder, did they force it to him?
Right.
You know, we got to get Gronk involved. So you call a simple play, and you get a turnover.
Third turnover of the day by the Patriots. Allen rolling and throws, and the short completion inside the 20 to the tight end Jason Kroom.
That's an impressive catch by Kroom. There was nowhere to go with the football. When you're on a bootleg, it isolates the field, right? So you've already narrowed it down to half the field. Then the further you go out, now you've only got a third of the field because you're not going to try throwing it across your body, especially when you get that turnover and what you're doing. And so by extending the play, Kroom eventually gets open on the sideline. An impressive catch.
2nd and 5 from the 19. McCoy. Only a couple at most. Malcolm Brown making the stop in the middle of the New England defensive line.
Well, this was 4-down territory earlier in the game, Trent. I don't know if I'm the Bills right now.
I think now you got to take points.
I got to get some points.
Yeah.
I got to get that 0 off the board.
Third and 3. He'll throw for it. The pass incomplete inside the 5-yard line, intended for Zay Jones, and Stephon Gilmore was covering.
Yeah, again, just trying to hit a back shoulder fade against an all-pro corner. Not the matchup you're looking on. You got those 3rd and shorts. Get inside, get somebody working inside on an option route.
Right. I'm with you, Coach, and I understand that's, the hot throw the last 10 years has been that back shoulder fade, but there's got to be some ways that you can create some matchups and find a matchup that's different. And I agree with this. You and I just talked about it. I think it's smart to try and get the points here.
Hauschka missed from 43 earlier. This is from 35. And the Bills do get on the board. 13:29 to play in the third quarter. They turn the turnover into 3 points. It's 14-3 Patriots. 14-3 Patriots. And the Bills set to kick it away. Cordero Patterson deep once again. And Patterson at the goal line. Tripped up at the 10-yard line, and what a terrific special teams play for Buffalo by Denzel Rice.
Impressive play by Rice as he sweeps the legs of Patterson to get him down, and now the Patriots have the task of trying to get this is odd to say. They're up 14-3. They're dominating this football game, but they've got to get something going offensively. Their 2 main scoring drives were running the football, pounding it in between the tackles, getting some Cordell Patterson to the outside on those sweeps, but not a whole lot of consistency offensively right now from the Patriots.
Brady picked twice in his last 4 pass attempts, and the running game starts it off with Michel, the rookie. Plenty happening for the Patriots here today. A win here clinches for them the division. More importantly, they're keeping an eye on the Houston Texans, who are winning at Philadelphia at halftime Should Houston lose, New England win, then New England leapfrogs back into that number 2 slot, which means a first-round playoff bye.
49.
2nd and 5.
19.
Michel picking his way out to the 25-yard line, and that'll be a first down, and we have a penalty marker down.
Holding offense number 11. Half distance penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Edelman guilty of the hold, and that will negate the first down.
He's working on the right wing. You see him there at the top of the screen or the left of the screen. He comes down, and that's just a tackle. Rafael Bush is who's trying to collapse the inside gap and get to the tackle, and Edelman losing leverage.
Yeah, I think Sean Smith misspoke. It's not, that wasn't a hold. That was a clamp. It was a grab. 2nd and 13 now, and the give is to Michel. And Michel out across the 15 to the 16-yard line, where Micah Hyde makes the stop. And now a chance for the Bills to say no on 3rd down, 3rd and 6.
Yeah, that didn't look like much, but the draw play gained about 8 yards, put them in a very manageable 3rd down now. And again, the Buffalo Bills, if they can get off the field here, they've won the first 5 minutes of the 3rd quarter.
Well, Gronk and Edelman are going to be to Brady's left. Those would be the 2 guys I'm looking for on 3rd down.
Brady throws. This is James White, and White brought down about 3 yards short of a first down. Trent Murphy with the stop.
I'm with you, Trent. I was surprised Tom got rid of that ball so fast to James White. He must have loved that matchup on Trent Murphy, because it was almost a catch and throw.
Yeah, that was a play we've seen the Bills a couple times. Josh Allen turned down, getting that quick swing out. But when you got a guy like Edelman and Gronk over on the other side, one-on-one, that surprised me a bit.
Isaiah McKenzie from his own 33 and brings it back across the 40. They'll be marked down about the 40-yard line. Matthew Slater with the special teams tackle.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Farmers Insurance. Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. And by Kay Jewelers, for all the moments, for love, forever.
New England defensive back Devin McCourty, who worked in partnership with Boston Children's Hospital and is, not coincidentally, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award nominee from New England. Here are the Bills. First down. From their own 41, Allen. Throwing. Incomplete, penalty marker flies. Deontay Thompson dragged down from behind by Jonathan Jones. And he comes up limping.
Yeah, that was no tangle of the feet. That was hands around the feet.
Yeah,
he reached down.
I know they're trying to say incidental contact, and we tripped up. And
Pass interference. Defense number 31. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Deontay Thompson started to take that right shoe off.
You can see him fall right on the back of the right leg, and that's what they're looking at.
We'll be back. You saw Deontay Thompson leaving the field. He has gone into the blue medical tent to be looked at. And boy, this wide receiver situation for the Buffalo Bills needs some tending to. McKenzie and Foster are out there now, along with Zay Jones on first down. On the play fake, the pass over the middle, and he's got his man inside the 25. To the 22 goes the tight end, Jason Kroon. One of the few times today Josh Allen looked like he was in rhythm.
Well, good job on the play action trap pass, got him up the seam right behind Hightower. Really good job by Kroon finding that little spot in the zone.
Well, just that little play fake was just enough to draw Hightower up that allowed Kroon to get behind him, and Josh Allen's good at those dart throws.
Yes, he is.
Putting it in there firm.
20-yard pickup, the longest play of the day for these Bills. Allen going to throw deep to the end zone. Incomplete. Both Foster and McKenzie were there.
I really don't know which one that was to. It was kind of a, looked like Foster had it on the corner route. McKenzie ran a quarter route also.
Well, McKenzie saying he was bumped in midair, and he was.
Totally.
Well, there's a 3-by-1, and he had 3 verticals on one side and a corner route on the other. Just the spacing was bad. And the ball was kind of in between the two of them. So I can't answer, Coach, which one he was throwing it to.
2nd and 10. Four-man rush going this way through the hands of Logan Thomas, the 4th-year tight end. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, he's an interesting story. We drafted him as a quarterback out of Virginia Tech, and didn't quite pan out for him as a quarterback, and he's gone back to playing tight end. Great athlete. Oh, that was a great throw. He's got to make that one, Trent.
Well, I anticipate the Patriots going man-to-man once again. They keep trying to find, listen, if you can beat us one-on-one.
Play clock down to 3, down to 2. The snap is off. On the run. Now throws for the end zone, and that's way out of bounds, incomplete. So that'll bring the field goal unit on.
What's a big stop for the Patriots?
The Patriots are lucky they didn't get that second hit. You could see the first one was legal. That second one that he hit up high, that's a little borderline. The way they've been protecting some quarterbacks, I've seen that called a few times this
just
year.
Just not rookies.
Yeah, just not rookies, right.
But if that had been one of the other top quarterbacks, that would definitely be a penalty.
Hauschka from 41 yards. And it is good. Second field goal of the day for the Buffalo Bills, and New England's lead is now 14-6 with 10:06 to play here in the 3rd. Hey, remember Super Bowl 25 featuring the Giants and the Buffalo Bills? Otis Anderson ran for a 3rd quarter touchdown en route to being named MVP. Scott Norwood sailed a 47-yard game-winning field goal attempt wide right. The Giants and defensive coordinator Bill Belichick won it. We remind you, 42 days away, Super Bowl 53 here on CBS, February the 3rd.
What do you think he does with all 7 of his Super Bowl rings?
I'm sure they're displayed nicely somewhere.
He's got a nicely. That's a heck of a career, obviously, as a defensive coordinator first with the Giants, and then goes without saying all the records. Talk about all the records Brady has. Well, those two are breaking records together.
Yeah, you know, when every year 6 or 7 jobs open. You think back when Bill Belichick was at Cleveland, he lost his job. Somebody said, okay, he's ready now,
right? And
now look what he's done. Yep. So I would, if I'm looking for a head coach next year, I'm looking for somebody with a little bit of experience.
Right.
Sony Michel is deep. And looks like he'll get a chance to return this one. Nope, drops it. And now it bounces out over the goal line, and he picks it up and will make it as far as maybe the 11 or 12-yard line.
Well, he's a little too nonchalant on that one, Coach. He looked like he just relaxed when he went to catch the ball. You see how he's backing up, just kind of relaxed, and then, hey, that ball's not round. It's going to take some crazy bounces. And
well, that's 3 kickoffs that they've started inside the 20-yard line. And that's really poor special teams play to start the second half.
These New England Patriots working to snap a 2-game losing streak. Brady. That pass is complete to Edelman. And Edelman knocked out of bounds at about the 15. That ball is zipped right past Gronkowski.
Yeah, I mean, that was another one where two guys were almost identical spots. Tom just zipped it right. If he stuck his hand up, he knocked it up in the air and got another interception.
And now Gronk to the sideline.
Yeah, you could see Gronk just pull off there. He was like, I got to stop running because I don't think this one's to me. Edelman being on the outside.
On 2nd and 7, the give is to Sony Michel. Nobody on this side of the line. And he's out across the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
You know, the Buffalo's Bills sold out all up inside, and it looked like Manny Lawson just lost contain. Or the linebacker didn't scrape outside. That's what it was, Thompson.
Watch the way they collapse there, and there's nobody to the outside. And yeah, there's outside contain was lost.
17-yard pickup. Sony Michel, 92 yards on the ground today. Looking to add to it here, and he does. Close to another first down at the 43-yard line before Jordan Poyer knocked him down and out of bounds.
It looks like Josh McDaniels said, heck this. We're going back and pound the rock and get this thing going again.
There's Gronk in again. Devlin getting to the outside. Lead block. It's crazy we're talking about Gronk and his blocking, but that's his main contribution today.
On first down, it's Rex Burkhead's turn. And he spins across the 45 to the 46-yard line before Tremaine Edmonds brings him to a stop. So New England going back to what worked for them in the first half.
Well, and it's just the personnel groupings that are surprising me. James Devlin's been in almost every snap, it seems like. And how often has a fullback been a big part of the game plan? But he's in there. They've been rotating Dwayne Allen quite a bit, and a lot of times two tight end packages. Just like there on this, two tight ends, fullback. Only Edelman is the only wide receiver. We haven't seen that too often from the Patriots over the years.
Burkhead across midfield into Buffalo territory. Melanie. Let's hold up first. We have a penalty flag on the play.
Holding. Offense, number 87. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That penalty is on Rob Gronkowski. Melanie now.
Well, Greg, just an update to Bills wide receiver Deontay Thompson, who had to be helped off the field with a right ankle injury. He was evaluated by the athletic trainers in the blue medical tent. They taped him up. He came out, tried to jog it off a little bit, but he's clearly still having some trouble with it down here. So for now, his return is questionable, Greg.
All right, Melanie, thank you.
The penalty bug from last week has not been cured yet, Trent. They're still struggling with penalties.
And as you know, that drives a coach crazy.
It's driving Coach crazy, and he's sitting up here. Has nothing to do with it. On 1st and 19, deep drop for Brady in the pass over the middle. That's complete to Burkhead, and Burkhead inside the 40-yard line.
Boy, that had to be a miscommunication. You can't let a check down go for 25 yards. That's the easiest throw in the book.
Just a quick little play fake. Everybody gets out of the middle. There's no one in the middle, and Brady recognizes it, dumps it off to Burkhead. And based on the way Edmonds was running after him, I have to think that he bit up too much on that play fake, got caught up in the wash on the inside.
Yeah, it looked like he was blitzing. He jumped in there so fast.
Deontay Thompson getting wheeled off the field. Back to the ground game, and Sony Michel tripped up as he got to the line of scrimmage. Michel up over 100 yards rushing on the day. That'd be his 4th 100-yard game of the season. Sony Michel once again breaking through once again to about the 32, and methodical would be the best way to describe the New England Patriots right now.
Yeah, they own the line of scrimmage right now. Everything's going forward, moving it back, finding creases. Really good job.
Well, it's just the way they're getting it done. It's not the traditional New England way that you think of their offense as running. I mean, we talked Michel's now over 100 yards. Cordero Patterson, 66 yards rushing. James White, 37 rushing and 13 receiving. Burkhead, 18 rushing, 40 receiving. It's just been a combination of those guys tearing it up today.
9th play of this drive. On 3rd and 4, Brady had to get rid of it in a hurry. Under pressure. Well short of Edelman and Lorenzo Alexander helping apply some pressure.
Yeah, they came all out blitz, and Tom, he couldn't even set his feet at all that time.
So the offensive unit still on the field now on 4th and 4.
Well, I think with the way the elements are today, you try a 51-yard field goal and give them good field position, or do you go ahead and go for it here on 4th and 4? You can see it appears that they're going to go for it. Of course, you can always do the hard count and the shifts and try and trick them a little bit. But
yeah, as we saw in Hauschka's kick in this direction, the wind's tricky in that direction.
Brady on the quick slant, and he's got his man for the first down. That is Edelman to the 15-yard line. Still going. Touchdown. Never touched the ground.
well, because it's ruled a touchdown, it's automatically going to get reviewed. We had Edelman in meetings yesterday. Let's see if it doesn't appear from either of those angles that he hits the ground.
And very, very aware that he didn't, and jumping up and scoring.
You know, I just love his competitiveness.
Oh,
he's a guy throughout his entire career. You know, he played quarterback in college, and as a wide receiver now, he's 5th all-time in Patriots history in receptions.
And
he just never gives up.
He does it with all the gritty, grimy catches.
Yes.
He works the inside hash marks.
I love the way he put it yesterday. He said, well, I was a quarterback in college, but that wasn't much to talk about. But he's a heck of a receiver at this level.
Yeah, and he learned some from really good ones in Wes Welker.
Yeah, he said he spent a lot of time studying tape, studying Welker, studying Amendola.
Been confirmed as a touchdown, and here's the extra point.
Troy Brown, the guys that have been in this offense that have worked with Tom Brady, trying to get better and just getting the reps in.
Gostkowski's kick is perfect. 5:05 to play in the third. Tom Brady's 25th touchdown pass of the season is to Julian Edelman. 21-6.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Microsoft Surface and by State Farm, here to help life go right.
Welcome back to Gillette Stadium. Feeling a little bit better now with a 21-6 lead that the Patriots own on the touchdown pass from Brady to Edelman. Brady, over the first 9 drives of this game, 44 passing yards. On that last drive alone, 61 yards throwing the football. That's Victor Bolden deep. And this one squibs along the ground and covered by the Bills at the 26-yard line. Well, we said this is a 2-game losing streak. The last 3-game losing streak. Back in 2002, lost to Drew Brees and the Chargers, lost to Miami, lost to Green Bay, and actually tacked on a 4th consecutive loss against the Denver Broncos. Kind of nice to know that those bad things don't last long for this team.
No, not at all. That's been put to bed a long time ago, losing more than 2 in a row.
This is Keith Ford, and Ford pushes his way out to about the 33-yard line. .445 to play here in the third.
Yeah, and for Buffalo, I mean, they got a young quarterback. I mean, they can't leave the game plan and start throwing it around, you know, because bad things are going to happen. They got to stay with their game plan, go down and try to get some more points.
Yeah, you consider you go down and get a touchdown, go for a 2-point conversion. All of a sudden, it's a 21-14 game. It's right in the mix. It's don't start all of a sudden just throwing it all over the place. Do what your game plan says. Try and get some conversions and work it down the field.
A lot of time for Allen right in the middle of the field. He hits his man, Robert Foster. And Foster brought to a screeching halt by Jason McCourty.
Well, this takes protection to be able to get a deep route in the middle of the field. It takes protection and it takes time. The Patriots that time not getting much pressure on him, and Foster able to get another gain. Came into today with 8 catches over 25 yards. Make it 9 after that one.
So a new set of downs. Allen going to keep it. Allen with running room and diving forward to the 30-yard line, and another first down for Buffalo.
But to me, that's a smart quarterback run. The run the read option, nobody's going to touch him. He gets as much as he can get, and he gets on the ground. That's great. That's great coaching right there. That's when he's trying to run everybody over with his right shoulder.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes. Well, you had a guy early in his career, and Andrew Luck, that tried doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, he had a Superman cape on too. He thought he could make a play out of anything.
Allen again with time and throwing, and wide open to his tight end, Kroom. Kroom inside the 10, still pushing forward to the 5, lost the football. It came out. And recovered by the Patriots. Malcolm Brown covered the ball at about the 6-yard line.
Well, both officials came running in and marked it at the same time, so they both had a good look at it. Looks like the ball's out from that angle.
Jason McCourty, number 30, reaching in and pulling it out.
Yep.
Another situation where you got a young receiver trying to do too much. Protect the football. That half a yard you're going to gain right there isn't worth fumbling. Get down.
Well, and he was continuing to move forward. I know the Bills are thinking, where was the whistle that showed stop of forward progress? He was still moving forward. That's why there was no whistle. And by fighting for those extra yards, ultimately is why the ball was ripped out.
Give it to Michelle, and Michelle spins across the 10 out to the 11-yard line. Melanie.
Well, Greg, as the Patriots take the field here again on offense, they will be down another receiver in Cordero Patterson, who's had such a productive day today. He is now questionable with a knee injury.
All right, Melanie, thank you.
You know, I wonder if he did that on that kickoff return.
I was thinking the same
when he got
thing.
his feet sweet, they kind of came through and swept his feet out from under him. He landed awkwardly because we really haven't seen him since then.
The rookie Michelle again, looking for first down yardage. Looks like he's going to be about a yard short. We check in New York. James Brown and Nate Burleson.
Hey, Greg, Eagles trying to win out and get some help for the postseason.
It's that time of year, good old St. Nick. How about this? Nelson Aguilar, 83 yards for the touchdown. And watch how he gets by the goal line and just falls on in. And everything's falling into place. 3 TDs for Nick Foles on the day. They have the lead, 23-16.
Back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, guys, thank you. 3rd and 1 here for Brady and the Patriots. And they'll look to Burkhead to get the yard he does, and a little bit more. Out to the 25-yard line, first down.
Well, the Patriots' offensive line is so athletic. You don't ever see these guys on the ground. They just continue to push, combo block up to the next level, and sooner or later, when the running back has enough patience, he'll find a crease.
Excellent job by Marcus Cannon and Dwayne Allen blocking to that side. That's right where Burkhead took the football between those two guys to pick up an easy first down.
Burkhead stays on the field. Play fake to him, and Brady saw that play dissolving and then just pounded into the dirt.
Trying to set up a screen for James Devlin on the backside, and
yeah, that one would surprise a lot of people.
Yes.
The fact that he's playing so much today surprising me, but to have a screen pass designed to him, that's why. Thanks for blocking all day for me. I got a screen pass in the game plan for you.
I almost think if he had hung with a little bit longer, maybe maybe it could have been there. He may have given up on it too early. I don't know.
Second and 10. Brady throwing incomplete over the middle. Gronkowski the target, and the penalty marker thrown. Micah Hyde having a conversation with Tom Brady.
Interference, defense, number 23. The ball will be placed at the slot of the foul, automatic, first down.
Gronk lined up on the right-hand side. Hyde, 23, comes up, tries to get pressure at the line of scrimmage. So he yanks that right arm down.
Yeah, he felt Gronk stiff-arm him, and he just grabbed onto the arm, which you cannot do.
49.
So on first down, back to the ground game, and Burkhead fights through a couple of tackles to the 35-yard line. It's been an impressive rushing attack put on by the New England Patriots today.
No doubt, and so many different guys doing it, and so many different type of plays. Really good job by Josh McDaniels in his game plan.
They don't have to run a snap. If you look at the clock and the play clock, it's about a half-second difference. So Patriots content to take it to the fourth quarter.
So they will let time expire here in the third quarter. The New England Patriots looking for the AFC East Championship with a victory here today, 21-6 over Buffalo. And welcome back, everyone, as we start the fourth quarter. 21-6, New England. Brady to the outside. Edelman with a first down out to the 45-yard line. Our producer, Ken Mack, our director, Suzanne Smith, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Bruce Arians, Melanie Collins, and our superb crew we are delighted to spend time with week in and week out. Wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Now we worry about who was going to take Josh Gordon's place, but Julian Edelman is the only receiver. Cordell Patterson has one catch. He's got 5. The rest of the running backs.
Brady on first down, content to hand it off to Burkhead. Spins away from the first tackler, and he's out to about the 48.
You know, Bruce, that was the big question coming in. We were talking about, okay, is it going to be Chris Hogan that has the day? Is it going to be Philip Dorsett that all of a sudden emerges and has the big day? Cordero Patterson, well, they used Patterson before he got hurt and left the game. He was used more as a running back with those sweeps coming around the outside, and the passing game just hasn't been a big part. I guess when you rush for 250 yards, you can forget about the passing game a little bit.
I'm just surprised they haven't taken one shot down the field.
Oh, yeah, stretch it.
250 rushing yards for the New England offense today. Brady under pressure, got rid of it. That's Edelman. To the 42. And a first down.
Well, I think Brady's trying to work the left side. He's trying to get Gronk one-on-one, and then he gets pressure, has to slide in the pocket. When he gets his eyes back upfield, all of a sudden Edelman there, after making the juke on Alexander, gets separation and comes into the vision. Right before the snap, you could hear Tom yell, he goes, "Hey, Gronk," and he pointed out the matchup. So I think that's where he wanted to go. He just, with the pressure, had to slide.
49's a Mike. No.
James White. Just inside the 40. You know, teams protect all of their secrets and everything. There's not a whole lot of secrecy when you point to your guy and go, "Hey, Gronk."
Right. I was like, you got to come up with a code word, you know, got a secret name, something. He just pointed right at Alexander and said, "Hey, Gronk." It's like, that's the matchup we want, so we're taking it.
Under 12 and a half to play.
One of the things that they've done so well over the years is match up those little wideouts on linebackers in the middle.
Brady on 2nd and 7. Over the middle, a little bit behind James White. He had pressure coming from his left side. It'll be 3rd and 7.
So you have Edelman clearing out underneath on the drag route, and White, the second one coming across.
Yeah, he was wide open. Tom
he's not
knew
real
it
happy
too.
about that. Yeah, missed that one. I don't know. It almost looks like he thought White was going to sit down or to throttle down a little bit as to run the way that he did. So just not on the same page. That's happened a couple times today.
3rd and 7.
Got Gronk one-on-one up top. That's what he's traditionally gone to.
And incomplete. Gronkowski covered by Levi Wallace. Meanwhile, Corey Thompson putting a little pressure on Brady.
Well, that's where he wanted to go. Thompson just did allow him time to get there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bust in protection between the running back and the tackle who had Corey Thompson, and no chance for the play to even develop.
Micah Hyde back inside his 10-yard line for the punt. Allen pops it up high. And once again, Matthew Slater with the special teams play inside the 10-yard line. 12 minutes even to play here at Gillette Stadium. Festive moods all over the place here in Foxborough, 21-6. And not so festive are the Pagulas, who own and operate these Buffalo Bills, Kim and Terry.
Yeah, that's a great addition to the National Football League when they took over the Buffalo franchise. Fantastic owners.
Well, I think they've got to be excited about the young talent they have on this team. If you look at both sides of the football, they have a really good defense, number 2 in the NFL. Offensively, they have a lot of young talent.
Allen running out of time, got rid of it, and it rolls out of bounds. Oh, Lawrence Guy putting the pressure on Josh Allen.
The trend again, he had a guy wide open out here in the flat. He was looking way down the field. Get rid of the ball. You're standing in the end zone.
I saw that flip to the outside. I said, oh, this is an easy pick six. If the ball floats like that, you're just waiting for somebody to come swooping in and grab it.
Fortunate to have it 2nd and 10.
Yes.
Keith Ford for 3, maybe 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Or it'll make it 7. You know, the Bills are, I'm sure, already starting to lament those opportunities that they had down deep and ended up having to settle for field goals.
Well, you think about that. The one, they missed the field goal. The other one, they didn't go for the field goal. They went for it on 4th down and missed it. And then they had the ball, the fumble this in the 3rd quarter that Kroom had down at the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
Josh Allen on 3rd and 7. Steps back, throws deep, incomplete. Nearest receiver, Zay Jones. And now Bills punter Matt Darr will have to kick out of his own end zone.
Yeah, and the Patriots have blocked some punts in the last few weeks.
Yeah, they've gotten close a couple times today. They have 2 blocked punts on the season, and earlier today they were close a couple times.
Edelman is deep. Clark gets this one away, but it's fairly short, and on the run, Edelman inside the 50, to the 30, to the 25, and out of bounds.
Well, they timed that perfectly. They didn't pressure. They decided to go for the return, and with the short punt, that worked out perfectly for the Patriots.
Yeah, Julian Edelman is able to catch us on the move. They doubled the gunner at the bottom, so he had clean sailing all the way down the sideline.
So great field position for Brady and the Patriot offense. The ball just inside the 30-yard line of the Buffalo Bills. 38-yard kick, a 25-yard return. James White. This ground game has just been relentless for the Patriots.
Yeah, I want to say it again. I'm impressed so much with this offensive line. No one's ever on the ground. They're just pushing. They're so athletic. And the backs they have great patience. They find that crease. Didn't look like much, and it's a 4-yard gain.
And I would just imagine they're just going to continue to try and pound the football. Right now, the biggest opponent for the Patriots is the time. What's left for the Bills to try and make a comeback? So just keep the clock moving.
They give it to Philip Dorsett. 10, 5, and out of bounds. Getting a little blocking help on the near sideline from fellow receiver Chris Hogan. Well, it'll be first and goal.
No Cordero Patterson because of the injury, so Dorsett comes into the same play we've seen multiple times, 4 different times already today by Patterson, and Dorsett gets it this time.
Yeah, the Bills have had no answer for the play, and it's really the defensive end. There's got to be communication of jet motion. Linebacker talk to a defensive end. He's got to stop that play.
49.
This is James White to about the 3. This New England Patriot team comes in averaging almost 117 yards rushing per game. Today they're up over 260.
Yeah, again, great job by Josh McDaniels in his game plan, putting his guys in positions that they can be successful and win.
Brady directing traffic at the line of scrimmage. And we'll give the ball to White. White was hit first by Trent Murphy, the defensive end. So it'll be 3rd and goal.
If you were going to throw it, I think this would be the time to do it.
Because
you've used up a lot of, or as much time as you can use getting the ball to 25.
If I was going to guess, you'd see Julian Edelman split out to the split inside and working his little shake route. But it looks like they may be going to Gronk out here.
Well, he's matched up one-on-one with Tre'Davious White.
Well, the pitch for White. And that's going nowhere. He's wrapped up at the 6-yard line. Micah Hyde leading the charge. Mike Love helping with the takedown.
Surprised Tom Brady didn't get out of that play. They were outflanked on a toss sweep right from the get-go.
Well, I think the thing is, Trick's trying to, once again, just try and keep that clock moving. A field goal makes it a 3-score game. So now all of a sudden, you know, there's no real pressure to get that touchdown. Obviously, you want to get it, but if you get the 3 points, it all of a sudden takes it from a 2-score game to a 3-score game.
Gostkowski. And it is good from 24 yards out. From inside 40 yards, Gostkowski now with 51 consecutive field goals, 24-6.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by PlayStation. Greatness awaits. KFC. It's finger licking good. And by Honda. Hurry into the Happy Honda Days sales event today.
Boy, talk about doing something with your time and your money and your life. Lorenzo Alexander of the Bills, Walter Payton Man of the Year Award nominee over the summer, started a free youth football camp in his hometown of Oakland. Also organized a free STEM lab and health screening event for inner city youth in Buffalo. Good stuff. That ball goes through the end zone. This is a doubleheader Sunday here on CBS, and what a game, too, on tap. Big playoff implications. Pittsburgh with a win, one step closer to the playoffs. If New Orleans wins, they can wrap up the #1 seed in the NFC. You got to think they're really close to must-win for Pittsburgh. Juju Smith-Schuster, by the way, will play for the Steelers.
No, it is definitely a must-win for Pittsburgh after Baltimore winning last night.
From the 25-yard line, Allen. Not going anywhere. Back to the 25-yard line. Flag goes down as John Simon makes the tackle. And the ball came out.
The runner was down by contact, holding, offense number 76. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
The penalty is on right guard John Miller. Josh Allen is 11 of 26 today, throwing for 121 yards.
Yeah, for Josh, he's got to learn to play the game from the line of scrimmage to 10 yards. He loves to play it from 30 to 50, but get the ball out of your hand faster. Just get completions. Every play can't be a 25-yard chunk.
On 1st and 20, gets rid of it in a hurry this time, and it's complete to Isaiah McKenzie. Melanie.
Well, when we met with Josh Allen yesterday, he told us Tom Brady was the player he tried to emulate growing up. He was just 5 years old when Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl. And when we asked Josh what it means to him to be playing on the same field as Brady today, he said it's surreal. He was such a big part of my development in watching quarterbacks and determining who I wanted to be as a player.
Melanie, thank you. This one he flips out to Keith Ford, who couldn't hold on.
Well, they went to a hurry up after that last play, getting into second down, and really time is the biggest factor right now.
Yeah,
so you gotta go. It kills you when you get a first down. You know, you get that penalty on first down, all of a sudden it's 1st and 20. So now you're trying to get things going, and with the incompletion, you huddle up on 3rd and long. But they've really had their struggles on 3rd down. Only 1 of 10 on the day.
Over the middle, off the hands of his intended receiver, Isaiah McKenzie. We talked with them yesterday, and everybody was talking about the trust that Josh Allen has in Isaiah McKenzie.
Well, that's such a big thing for quarterbacks and receivers. If you trust the guy, and we've seen it several times today with Robert Foster, if you trust the guy, you're going to put it in a position where you think he can make a play on it. And the coaches, Sean McDermott especially, was saying that the trust that was built up between Allen and McKenzie and Allen and Foster.
This one looks like it was blocked a little bit at the line of scrimmage, didn't go far, out to about the 34 for their 35-yard line.
Bruce, you and I talked about it before the last punt. They've been getting close.
They were getting close all day.
Ramon Humber, number 50, did he get in there? So was Matthew Slater. Welcome back as we get started here with 6:38 to play in the fourth. Brian
the ball
Hoyer
snap prior to the ready for play whistle. First down.
Is the quarterback.
Please,
so Tom Brady's day would appear to be over, and the numbers on a career that spans now into its 10th season for Hoyer.
Not to be nitpicky, Coach, but if they snapped it before the ready to play signal, isn't that technically a penalty?
I would think so.
This is Burkhead. And Burkhead doesn't get much. This was not a typical Tom Brady day. 126 yards throwing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And is he looking displeased over there?
I don't think he's very happy. That's for sure. I think he's very displeased with his performance today. And really, they're winning the game, but their numbers aren't that good. Interception, too many turnovers still, too many penalties still to win in January.
Well, and for me, all the times I've watched him and played against him, and he just never got in a rhythm. He just, when you're talking 13 to 24, just – you're so used to seeing that ball get out of his hands quickly, and you never really saw him get into any kind of rhythm. Now they're running the ball like historical type numbers, 270 yards rushing at this point in time.
But doesn't that throw you off as a quarterback, getting into rhythm?
Right. Oh no, it definitely does.
Burkhead again, and Burkhead not much there. You see Brady on the sideline with his 126 yards passing day. Last time Brady threw for less than 140 yards in a victory was against these Buffalo Bills back in 2013.
That was a while ago, but I thought you were going to go even further back than that. When you said that, I was like, oh, he's gonna bring it up in like 2007 or something.
But
like
they have been able to run the football today. They're not up near historic proportions, but They've done pretty good, 272, and it's very clear what the Patriots have been able to do. Frustrate a young quarterback on defense and run the football on offense. Burkhead. And Burkhead to about the 28-yard line. Timeout is called by Buffalo. So, their relentless pursuit of division title number 10 in a row. That's never been done in the NBA. It's never happened in the National Hockey League. The Atlanta Braves did it for 14 straight years.
It's an amazing stat. When you look at it like that, you see the dominance this team has put in the last 10, 15 years.
Well, just think of the historically good teams over the generations throughout the history of this league. You can talk the Steelers in the 70s. You've got the Cowboys. You've had the Dolphins. You had the 49ers. I mean, there's some teams that have dominated in their different eras, but New England has definitely been the example of dominance here in recent years, especially the last 10.
52 Rita. 52 Rita.
4th and 5. Throwing incomplete, intended for Edelman. And the ball will go over on downs. A little bit of a cold day, the first ball you throw. What happened there, Trent?
It looked like it was too low and too far out in front, and Edelman gave him that look like, man, what are you doing? And I'm sure Hoyer was looking at him like, catch the dang ball, get the first down. So, yeah, that's just one of those deals. So I'm sure Hoyer and Edelman haven't had a lot of reps together
for sure.
5:07 on the clock.
Double goal, inside out.
180. What's up?
A pass over the middle to Jason Kroon. You saw that note, 44 consecutive drives that the Buffalo Bills have failed to score an offensive touchdown against New England. That's frustration.
Yeah, and they've had some chances today. They shot themselves in the foot a couple times. Drop pass, fumble.
Bird.
To the near side, that is complete to Zay Jones.
Well, that's hard to believe. That's Zay Jones' first catch of the day.
Yeah,
Coming into it, he was the leading receiver.
Allen under pressure, going to move. And has to throw it away. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Remind you, stay tuned for the NFL Today update delivered by Pizza Hut, time permitting. JB, Phil, Nate Boomer, Coach Bill Cowher, all the latest scores and highlights. Coach McDermott, the Buffalo Bills look like they're about to go to 5 and 10 on the year. Allen to the sideline. Picked off. Intercepted. Jason McCourty.
Trent, he just threw another little floater out there to the sideline with a guy undercut. He'll learn. Just can't. You got to take that air out of that ball if you're going to throw that to the sideline.
That's all just part of the learning curve. There's certain throws you really have to bring it, and other throws you got to try and lay it in there. And
first interception of the season for Jason McCourty. His twin brother Devin has one.
Did a great job of getting his feet down. He looked like a wideout tapping his toes.
29.
And Hoyer goes back to work on offense, and the handoff is to Burkhead. And Burkhead to the 40 as the Patriots now just look to take time off the clock and go into the locker room with another AFC championship. East championship, excuse me. 5 games now this year for Josh Allen where he's thrown at least 2 picks.
Well, that's really the recent success he's had after coming back off of the injury and the bye week. And you look at the last 4 games coming into today, they're 2-2 in those games. The 2 games they had won, no interceptions in those 2 games. The other 2 games he had turnovers. They lost close ball games, but it's understanding what you have as a team. And I'm not saying that this is falling on him, because defense, you give up this many yards rushing, the defense had their problems today as well. But I just think there's an overall understanding you have to have. And there's certain – I don't know why all of a sudden it's become game management is a negative thing for quarterbacks. If you understand what you have as a team, if you can run the football, if you can get short passing game, if you can get the defense going, I'm fine with guys being game managers. And I'm not saying that's where he's heading future in his career, but at this point in time in his career with the defense they have.
Yeah, I think you have to learn to be that first.
Yes, yes.
Then you go learn how to do all the other things. But it was interesting, and you brought it up earlier today, in OTAs and in training camp, he didn't have a veteran quarterback.
Right.
And Derek Anderson came in, taught him how to be a pro, how to prepare. He said yesterday in our meeting, I learned so much from Derek on how he prepared and watching film with him. So it's been a great learning experience since they got him in there.
3rd and 6. Let's see if Hoyer throws it here. Nope. Give it to Philip Dorsett. And Dorsett wrestled down by Corey Thompson. And a whistle.
30 seconds.
Well, to your point, Coach, talking about you have to learn how to do one and then you gradually build into the other. Look back at Tom Brady early in his career, winning that first Super Bowl and some of his early success. He wasn't coming out and throwing 50 times a game and the offense that he's been doing. He learned how to get to that point. A guy that you were with, Ben Roethlisberger, early in his career, some of those early Super Bowls, early championships, great defense, running the ball with the bus, and Ben learning how to play the position. So it's a normal learning curve for a lot of quarterbacks.
Micah Hyde deep. Brian Allen got it away. Hyde will let this one fly out of bounds. And we'll see where they spot it. Meanwhile, Houston and New England. Houston is losing at Philadelphia. And New England trying to leapfrog into that number 2 seed in the AFC playoff picture. And they hold a tiebreaker by virtue of an earlier win this year, opening day. They beat Houston 27-20.
And we know how good they are if they get a bye in the playoffs. Coming here is really tough to play.
On first down, Allen complete to Zay Jones.
Well, and to that point, Coach, they're the only team left this season that is undefeated at home. Especially you get the elements going, you start getting the weather factoring in.
That pass is complete to the far side to Keith Ford. Word from Miami, Jacksonville has beaten the Miami Dolphins 17-7. That gives this AFC East title right now to the New England Patriots. 10 straight AFC East championships.
Ram.
On first down. Another pass to the sideline, and that is complete to Zay Jones. Clock continues to move, and we will hit the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play at Gillette Stadium. Kings of the East in the AFC, yet again, the New England Patriots.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Forevermark. Discover the Forevermark Tribute Collection at forevermark.com. And by Bud Light, reminding you not to drink and ride your horse.
Welcome back, everyone. As we come back, Keith Ford out of bounds, but enough for a first down for Buffalo. 1:55 to play, and Buffalo is out of timeouts. Josh Allen testing that defensive front of the Patriots. And now the pass over the middle out of the reach of Jason Kroon. What Coach was just talking about, you don't want to play these Patriots. They're going to get a first-round bye, and when they get that first-round bye, my goodness, 12 appearances in the playoffs if they do get that bye, and a winning percentage of over 77%.
And 8 rings.
And 8 rings. 2nd and 10.
8 appearances.
Okay.
Allen, the little flip for Ford. Ford with a blocker in front of him and out of bounds.
I got your back, Coach. It's still 8 rings. You just get 5 Super Bowl rings and 3 AFC Championship rings. So, yeah, those are good things. There's a lot of teams that'd be happy with those other rings. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was when I was in Pittsburgh. We didn't get rings for that.
Oh yeah?
No, you had to win the Super Bowl to get a ring.
I don't know what the Patriots do.
3rd and 4. That pass is complete and first down to the 30-yard line. Zay Jones pulling that rocket in from Allen.
Well, I was sitting here thinking, a lot of teams at this point in time, they would go cover 2, they would go double cloud, they would rush 3, keep everything in front of it. The Patriots are still blitzing. The Patriots are still bringing different combinations of pressure packages. They don't want to give up a touchdown.
Going for it all. Down deep. Nobody there except Jason McCourty.
Now, that was a prayer.
Yes.
His receiver.
That wasn't a jump ball.
That was a prayer. I don't want to see him throw an interception. I want to learn from this drive. I'd love to see him take it in for a touchdown, just for his development.
Yes.
But don't throw up prayers like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would almost be your message, right? Going out on the field. Listen, don't worry about the score. Let's just get a drive, get something going, feel good about it going into next week.
Allen under pressure. Eludes one, now throws wide open inside the 5. And into the end zone for the touchdown is Zay Jones.
That's what you were hoping to see out of this young man. Great job eluding pressure, getting his eyes downfield and finding his man wide open.
Zay Jones and Robert Foster just on a deep crossing, right? You see the collision in the middle of the field. That's what allowed Jones to get as wide open as he was. Give Allen all the credit, though, for extending that play. It looked like he was sacked. Gave a little juke move, stutter, slide, step up.
And still had the strength to get it down there.
Right.
At 6'5", 237, he's not going to be the easiest quarterback to bring down. Well, a little mix-up. And now throwing it into the end zone and away is the holder, Matt Darr. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened. Mishandled the snap.
What happened was it wasn't a very good hold. And he's like, I'm not going to try kicking that ball.
Yeah.
It's
pointed in the wrong direction.
Right.
And everybody knows it.
As he puts the ball down, you can see that his hand, the front hand was still on the ball. It was tilting forward, and just not a clean look for Hauska to try and attempt it. And that's where he's like, "Hey Matt, you're on your own."
That touchdown drive.
And I'm not blocking for you either.
Right.
That touchdown drive for Buffalo, their first offensive touchdown in their last 46 drives against New England. Onside kicks. We know how those are recently.
Well, with the new rules, it completely changes the onside kick.
And that's not going to get anything done other than give the Patriots terrific field position. With 1:07, hey, we've got some bonus coverage coming your way. Either Houston at Philadelphia, where the Eagles are leading 29-23. And by the way, Houston still in a fight for that number 2 seed in the AFC playoff race. In fact, they showed highlights of a Philadelphia Eagles touchdown here earlier, and this crowd went wild.
The whole place erupted, you're right.
Hoyer takes a knee, and the countdown will continue. Buffalo will suffer its 5th straight loss to New England. New England 16 straight years with 10 or more victories in the AFC playoff picture will look like this. New England leapfrogging Houston for the time being into the number 2 slot. And that'll do it.
I was going to say, the guy's got to be excited on that sideline. 10 straight division titles. That's a heck of an accomplishment. That's, you know,
year after year after year.
The consistency is so impressive.
Yeah, when you look at that stat and all the other sports, I mean, it really is amazing feat that they have done under Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick.
Handshakes at midfield. And our final score. The New England Patriots 24, Buffalo 12. Up next, NFL Today update delivered by Pizza Hut. For Trent, Bruce, and Melanie, and all of us, Greg Gumbel. Merry Christmas, everyone. JB to you in New York.